Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hey, how's it going? So we're going to just jump right into this, make sure everybody can hear me and everything. Let's give Micheal Kiser and James there, KFARR, about a minute or so, see if they're going to show up. I've emailed them the link and also the links in the description of this live stream. Again, can everybody hear me well? I hope everybody can hear me well. So just let me know if you can hear me. I want to make sure my audio is working. Yes. All right. Cool beans. Y'all can hear me already. Yeah, I know they won't. And then this, I believe Stone Vet and Mass Sergeant Retired, they're going to come up here in a little bit, here in a few minutes. So we're just going to address this. I got just a few things. Just only take about 10, 15 minutes, if that. Then we'll kind of talk a little bit with those guys whenever they get in. And I know they'll be lurking. They'll probably see it, and or at least somebody will tell them, and they'll go see it for what they've for the statements that they made. And so it looks like Kiser done took all his live streams down about him and any reference to the military or anything like that. He also doesn't wear his military police hat. I think he's only wore that in one video on his live stream that I saw. But you know what, though? I can wear mine, and I'm going to wear it. Hey, what's going on? What's going on, Miss Lisa? How you doing? How you doing? Hope everything's good. Hope everything's going good with you. They have already been told. Master Sergeant Retired's here. I'm going to bring him in. I'll probably go ahead and bring him in if they won't, if they're not going to show up. I wanted to, and I told KFARR and I told Wrangler in an email that this is not something to ambush y'all on or anything like that. It's just to have a conversation about it. And Wrangler's made statements that he wanted to. So I think now is the time to do it. Trolls, hey, yeah, for the mods that are in here, if the trolls come in, let them talk. Just let them say what they want to say. We're here to address this issue and this issue only. The only thing that I would request that you time them out for is if they make any threats and try to incite any violence or anything that would be, they would, try to get somebody to break the law or something like that. But, they can call me every name in the book. I could really care less. So now you don't have to time them out for that. They can talk about me all they want to. What I've got to present this morning will probably, hopefully, get people thinking about donating money to, especially to Frauditor Wrangler anymore for what he's done and everything. So I'm going to go ahead, and it doesn't look like they're going to show up. I'm going to go ahead and bring up Master Sergeant Retired and see what he's up to. And then I believe J-Town Press is coming up at some point as well. And then we'll pop right into this right quick, and then just kind of have a discussion about it and call it that. We're not going to be on too long. I try to keep my live streams under an hour, right at an hour, so that way people don't get too bored looking at me. So, hey, what's going on, Master Sergeant Retired? Can you hear me?
Yeah, good morning. Hopefully you can hear me okay. Sorry, no camera this morning, but I didn't have time to get ready, and I got a meeting after a little bit. So
it's all good. I've got a cold, so I might turn mine off here in a minute or so. I just wanted to make sure I was sporting this when I show when I start to show some of this stuff. And I sent y'all the video, about a 3-minute video that I'm going to show as well. I think I sent it out to y'all unlisted. So once the live stream's done, I'm going to make that video public. So hey, let's just get started. So Wrangler's made the statements and stuff, and I don't know if he's tarnished or tried to tarnish any other veterans service records or stuff like that. So I reached out to them and made the live stream, put the link to the live stream in the description of this, as well as email them the link. I haven't heard anything back from Kiser, but KFARR I did now. I did hear back from KFARR, and I'm going to show an email that I got back from KFARR as well. So here on the 24th, I've invited FW to a live stream with me and would like to extend the invitation to you as well. I'm giving you and FW your chance to send me packing. Plan to address everything to include some documentation of everything in my resume that both of you claim to be false. I highly doubt you'll respond or show up on the panel with me. And I did plan this for Monday at about 2 p.m. However, I had to push it to 9 this morning, so I wanted to do this as quick as possible. And then, like I said, I didn't redact anything out of this email here. So then his response was, so when I offered you a chance to be transparent, you said absolutely no. When I said that I was skeptical of your resume, meaning I think you embellished a little too hard, you said you would not provide records. I don't have to provide records to you. I don't have to provide records to anybody. And the reason I'm doing this, and because of the statements that Kiser has made, and also I want the justice for Donald Cameron. I really want the justice for him. So now, and then he goes on and says, now, you want to be transparent, but only on your terms. Why I'm shocked by this. Well, of course, it's my channel. I can do what I want on my channel. If you don't want to show up, you don't got to show up. Think it'd be good if he would show up. He said he's actually thinking about spending his 2:00 hour on Monday covering the Dummy Kruger video where you allegedly called a courthouse pretending to be a lawyer wishing to speak to your client. Okay, well, I've already addressed that on my channel in the community page. Go read that. And we are not here for this. And then he made sure he put a real veteran as well without 63 prisoner complaints. Okay, well, whatever. Whenever I worked in law enforcement.
Hey, let me address that, because we had somebody do a check on that, and there was a bunch of complaint. Well, there was, I think, like 3 grievances, and maybe your name was mentioned, I don't know, maybe a half a dozen or a dozen times in some of the reports that were requested. They really weren't requested. They did a search for your name in all of the grievances and all of the filings, and it was like 3. And yeah, it looks like you were doing your freaking job.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I never got in any trouble or anything, never broke the law or anything like that, when I was working in that, in that field or anything. I mean, had I did, I probably most likely would have been charged accordingly. I would think, and terminated or stuff like
Well,
that. And
I didn't even see any disciplinary action. I mean, the only thing that you had the problems with was the attendance, and that was because of your PTSD. And that is what it is. But as far as, I don't know where they're getting the 63 prisoner complaints. But if there were
then my
no,
attendance was like towards the end. It wasn't, because I was there for just under 4 years. So my attendance was towards, like, maybe I would say, I'm going to push it and say the last 6 months, probably a little less than that. But, and I was there every day. That's irrelevant to the stuff here. I'm glad you brought that up, though, because I mean, 63
I just wanted to I wanted to address that, because I saw the stuff, and the grievances that were filed were, they were pissed off because they weren't getting their own way. And that's
exactly.
I mean, you get inmates that have nothing to do except sit there and whine and cry about shit, still not taking responsibility for their own actions that put them in there. And they got to have something to do. So, we'll just file grievances on the COs and go with that.
Yeah, most definitely. And that's about what happened. I never really got talked to or asked about. I mean, there's probably a couple of them I did that I was talked to. I don't even remember which ones. It's just like, hey, this, and this. I was like, I don't know. Oh, yeah, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't really remember. It didn't stand out that much that would be stored in my long-term memory.
Yeah, the one that stood out to me was one of the clowns didn't have his wristband on and didn't have it with him. And I guess you gave him like 2 weeks of something, and yeah.
Well, I mean, that was
no TV or something.
Yeah, that was like the standard of everything. Of, you had to, from what I remember, you had to have a wristband on whenever you got your chow, whenever you grabbed your tray for chow, and then one of them didn't have it on, and then you can do like store visitation, revocation, stuff like that. So I was just trying to do the right thing, and just, I don't know.
Like I said, everything I read, it looked like you were doing your job.
That's what I was trying to do. So, all righty. So yeah, this is the email I got back from KFARR. And then again, hey, if KFARR or Wrangler, which I don't think they're coming on here. I really don't. So I'm going to leave y'all up for the remainder of this. So basically, majority of the people in here probably know what's going on with Wrangler's situation and KFARR situation and stuff like that. If not, go check out Stone Vet, Master Sergeant Retired's channels. The links are in the description. They've got a lot more in-depth details about stuff. Also, Shiz Happens, that channel as well. And I'm going to try to keep up with the comments too, if possible, if I can. So is what I'm going to do. I'm going to play a quick, it's about a 2-minute and 50-second video, and then just dive into some records right quick. And then we can talk about whatever then for a few minutes. And so I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to throw this video on.
Hey, before you do that,
what's up, man?
Hey, what's up? Did fucking KFARR really put a real veteran without 63 prisoner complaints? Fuck that little dude.
That's what it says. I got some other emails back from him, as well as comments on his channel as well. I wanted to make sure they knew that they were welcome to come up here. And I wasn't up here to bash them. I wasn't going to, call them names and bash them. I was just going to ask them questions about certain things because Master Sergeant did his homework with Kiser's records before he released it. He didn't just go out and blankly say the stuff like Kiser did about my stuff and KFARR not correcting him, because KFARR is a veteran. He's a veteran, so I mean he should have corrected him, and that's something I think we talked about last night.
This thing, the hard part with KFARR is that by all whatever, it looks like he's for real, that he did 4 years in the Navy, which really makes it worse, his support of all of this. And then him not knowing, I get Navy, Army, maybe, not exactly. You were a staff sergeant. He was just, he was a corporal or E4 or whatever, third class, petty officer, third class. But he should have understood the stuff that was on your resume. Like, he should have recognized at least some of this. Like, hey, man, he's just saying he ran PT, like, and to say, like, when you're like accountable for administrative, and they're like, oh, accountable. Okay. Like, yeah. When you have people underneath you, you're accountable to know where they are. Are your people in the right place at the right time in the right uniform? And if they're not, that's your responsibility.
Exactly.
So I mean, the stuff that was on there, it looked like bullet points from an NCOER. I mean,
yeah, totally.
I've written so many NCOERs for my squad leaders and stuff. I mean, it's although it's been massaged some to make it more civilian friendly, it's basically bullet points from an NCOER where, use that.
Most definitely. And all right, I'm going to throw this video up. It's about a 2-minute and 50-second video. I think Stonebet, you've seen it already. I think
I saw
you
it
may
too.
have seen it or not. So, and then I'm going to bring up. I've redacted a few things in my 214, but as far as everything else, like other stuff, no. I'm gonna show the 214 in its entirety. So you just don't see blocks, 13 and 14, and think that it's pulled from somewhere else or whatever. So, and alrighty, hey, I'm gonna throw this video up. We'll be right back in about 3 minutes. Hope you enjoy. And this video will be made public once the live stream is done.
Motivating Georgia Transparency to have it to come on and explain himself on my channel?
I think I missed that one.
Yeah, I put it up this morning. A long story short, I let everybody know that I want to go heads up with him, and I want him to explain his bullshit resume and his obvious lies on his military past, on his job application, and I want to know why he put that he did multiple humps in Afghanistan and Iraq on both his channel and his webpage, which have since been taken down in its entirety.
What is it?
Fire Direction Section Chief.
Bullshit. But we'll just keep going.
Fire Direction Section Chief.
Bullshit. But we'll just keep going. Now, at one point, he did have OIF and OEF veteran on his damn channel. And then after we did this, the shit came down. I just wasn't smart enough back then to grab a screen grab of it. Well, Raven Darkstar, when you say modern army versus I'm going to guess and you don't get to have 3 different MOSs, man. It just doesn't work like that. Now, sometimes additional info, counterintelligence operations, management, leadership, instruction, have almost 13 years of military experience and would be a valuable employee to this organization. Bullshit. So as I'm saying, I'm calling it right now, and I'm telling you, this ribbon rack is bullshit for a 12-year soldier. And I would love to know everybody else's opinion now that I've run my mouth.
All right, guys. So that was pretty much that was the it in a nutshell. With that, I'm gonna pull up this here right quick. Hopefully everybody can see it. So what I guess he called some BS on the awards and decorations, but it looks like in items blocks 13 and 14, which I haven't shown 18 yet. It needed a continuation page that covers everything. The 6 deployments that he claims, because there's 2 stars on my ribbons, well, it's phases, and I believe Stone Vet hit that. He hit that pretty clear. Afghanistan campaign, 2 paying stars. Iraq, 2 campaign stars. And then I remember him making some comment about he needed BNOC. He can't be a E6 or something. Basic NCO course, which it was called ALC when I was in, but it was what BNOC used to. They changed it from the BNOC to say ALC. Yeah. And then your WLC was in line with PLDC is what it was. So it used to be PLDC. And so with that, I had some re-enlistments as well. Served in designated imminent danger pay areas. Served in Iraq, Afghanistan. Completed first full term. And continued from Block 13, the Global War on Terror Service Medal, the Non-Commissioned Officer Professional Development Ribbon, 2nd award, one from WLC, 2nd one from ALC, Army Service Ribbon, just some of the standard stuff that you get. So I don't know why this one was on there. The Armed Forces Reserve Medal with M device. I got that when I was in the Guard for deploying. It was the Armed Forces. I guess I believe the M stands for mobilization.
Mobilization.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I've got one as well.
Okay. Yes, that's when I deployed with my Guard unit, my Florida Guard unit. So how that got stuck on there, I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because I was wearing it while I was on active duty. That's all I can think of. So
the only and that's a federal award. That's not a state award. So that would show up on your 214. The only things that won't show up on a 214 would be like your state stuff, and that would be on your NGB 22.
Okay. I got you. He also said something about the meritorious unit commendations that goes on, the opposite side of your awards and decorations. It says meritorious unit commendations on there.
I got one of them. I got a NUC. I got a puck. I got a presidential unit citation, actually, or unit kind of commendation or whatever.
Yeah, I don't have that one.
We got it. I got it when I was with First Recon. We got it. Actually, I think the whole division got one for the invasion.
Well, that's because you guys like blue crayons, so they have to get the blue ribbon.
Like yum 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 yum. Like these
blueberry.
All right, I'm gonna throw up. Hey, J Town, what's going on? J Tizizzle Town. She's a veteran of the U.S. Chair Force.
That's my Christmas name, J Tizzletown.
J Tizzletown. All right, I'm gonna throw up the 214 so that you can see. Pretty much, I redacted just basic, some basic stuff where I showed certain blocks that it's like, okay, you think maybe I don't want to hear the claim. Well, you snipped that off of somebody else's, whatever. And I'm sure maybe Master Sergeant Retired has already got a copy of this, so I'm not sure.
I mean, you showed it, brother, and it's a legit DD 214.
Yeah, I mean, I could
care less. I wanted Kiser and KFARR to pull this from archives.
I think what people don't quite understand is it's not like a group of people running around shaking down anybody who ever says they're a vet and then demanding their fucking 201 or SRB file or whatever. It's like, hey, this is what Wrangler could never do this. But
guys, I'll be back in 2 minutes.
All right.
These guys, if they just show it, I mean, first of all, just talking to you, I didn't need it. It didn't need to see it. I totally understood why you've jumped through all these hoops, and I think it's good. Just to show, because Wrangler and KFARR need to understand that this is how you do this. If you're, these guys made really big claims about you, and then went ham. Again, look, I've gotten out in front of my skis. I've said it before. I've done it without having I'm like, yeah, this isn't passing the sniff test. I've learned to be a little bit more patient about it, but it's like the same thing with, like, just say KFARR, right? KFARR comes out, he doesn't make outrageous claims or anything, but he wraps his channel around being in the Navy and all this stuff, and then he refuses to show anything, and then he shows the DD-214, and it's like, okay, well, there you go. Like, I don't know. KFARR's thing is strange to me right now. I don't understand how somebody, even with just 4 years in, had no idea how to look at your resume and then not only not know how to translate it, because he had no idea how to even translate it, but then his interpretation and his thing that he put out to everybody was, well, you're lying. You're saying that you're Army Jesus. It's like, what the fuck?
Oh yeah, and then another thing too is that on here the anti-terrorism course, it's on here. The company intelligence support is on here.
Oh, is Coist even on there?
Yeah, company intelligence it's on block 14.
Oh wow,
yeah, they did a really good job with your 214. It looks like they got everything that you had on there.
It's crazy,
I made sure,
right?
like, I scrubbed my 214 before I signed it, and then the person that did it was a civilian, and she made sure, she was like, here, make sure this is correct. So I did, and then she printed off another copy and was like, here, double check this one again to make sure it's correct. And I looked at it all again. I was like, yeah, looks correct. And
I've got three different DD-214s and a NGB-22.
I've got an NGB
between all of them, shit is just spread out all over the place.
Top, I was thinking the same thing. I got the exact same 3 DD-214s, NGB-22, and it is. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, in fact, it was really funny because I hadn't really thought about it until all of this. I mean, normally, like, the VA or government or whatever, I'd give them all of them, and they're like, we just need. It's really funny. They only care about my Marine one. They really only seem to care about the Marine one. I don't know. Like the VA, they're like, well, what branch? I'm like, well, I was Marines and Army. And they're like, well, say Marines. I'm like, okay. Like.
Well, that's like my very first DD-214, my service from 78 to 92, pretty much dropped off for anything with the VA. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I want to show a quick 15-second video, and then we'll be done with this, and then I want to address some stuff about Wrangler's MP hat and his tattoo and that stuff and all of that stuff. So this video is only 15 seconds, nothing spectacular, but it's I think you've seen it before, Stone Vet, just in a C-17.
Christopher Mann is not aboard this flight, therefore we will make it on time.
Real quick, the pilot decided that one person could be special enough to go see what he does.
And that's it.
And it's you. Do you have
those combat takeoffs, combat landings?
Yep.
Do you have the picture with his hat and all that, or do you need it?
I tried to snip it, but it was like extremely blurry. So I just snipped the entire screen whenever actually in that video, that 3-minute video that I played. So I just kind of snipped it in there.
Yeah, I got some things I'd like to snip.
Yeah, so basically this right here, like this alone right here shows the stupidity of, or the incompetence and unintelligence of those two.
Well, they never even bothered. Here was the thing with me, and Matt Stern can fucking attest to this. I can get out in front faster than the information, and that can make me be wrong or lead me in. I get it, but I've always gone back and we've gotten the records on the guys, and then depending on what they say, then I'll like say, hey, I'm blind justice, for example, like, hey, I was fucking wrong. We got this. These dudes made these fucking really big claims about you and then never even bothered to follow up. They didn't follow up with you. They didn't follow up by actually requesting any records to back up their claims. Because
I think only frauds. I think he has actually apologized.
He apologized.
I believe he actually did sincerely apologize. And that's the reason I didn't. He's in that picture that I showed in that video just because he was on the panel at the time. But I didn't request him directly to be up here like I did those two because I from my understanding, I believe he actually legitimately did apologize.
Yeah, he did.
He did, for sure. And also, I don't think having him up here would help. You would need it would be good. I mean, I'm sure KFARR is watching this or will watch it or whatever, Wrangler. And like you had mentioned that, Russ, that you didn't want them to feel like they're going to get ambushed. And I think that's good. But I think it'd be good to have the one military guy and then one dude who's the military guy's best friend to claim, claims he's a military guy, to get up and be like, let's talk through this. What is it that you don't believe? Why don't you believe it? And I don't mean with me, but like how you were planning, Russ, with just you and them. I think it'd be good for KFARR. I think this needs to be a lesson for him, for a young sailor, to kind of like, hey man, if you're gonna be a part of this, you're gonna have to know how to get records. You're gonna at least need to know somebody that can get records. So you need to know somebody that can look at ATARs, somebody that can do these things. You can't just come out.
That's like yesterday. Yeah, yesterday we looked at KFARR's 214.
Yeah, exactly.
And I immediately fired it off to, I mean, I've got a subject matter expert who's a retired Navy diver chief. He works as a VSO. He looks at DD-214s every friggin' day, helping people with their claims. And he looked at it, and I told you what he said. And, there is no A school for that. They wait until they make E4, then they test out, and then they get the rating. But what did he call them? Freaking yardarm apes or something like that. I forget what he called them.
Those guys
are
J-Town,
what you got? What you think?
Well, let me just say it this way. Like every time I've the once or twice that I've actually flipped to a troll channel, let me do my impression. Pause the video. This is so stupid. How could they do this? It's so stupid. Let's play the video again. There you go. That sums it up.
Yeah. We've been calling it auditor bad. Like, point, auditor bad. Haha, isn't that right? Give me 10,000 views.
Right.
Like, without even getting into the auditor stuff.
And just to get this out front, like I said, auditor, anti-frauditor, I could give two shits less about what you guys do. I just don't get it. I mean, I've never really felt like I had to go into a post office and record, and I never felt like I had to put somebody's video of them up in a post office and then talk shit about them. So I'm an equal opportunity person when it comes to this. I could give two shits less about either side of the aisle, but when it comes to veterans, I'm going to support a veteran, and that's why I came on for Russ.
Absolutely. Same here. For anybody in here who doesn't know me or Master or whatever, we're not. Yeah, this isn't an auditor versus not anti-auditor thing for us.
Yeah, that's how it should. That's how it should be. And then that's the way it should be. You might not support what I do or what J-Town does. You might not support it or what looking into government corruption, stuff like that, and police accountability.
Sure,
you might not support it, but it's legal. And we're allowed to, and we should be doing it.
Yep. And I got no problem with that. No problem whatsoever. I've had very limited interactions in my work with auditors or sovereign citizens or any of that other stuff. I've had very limited, and it's always been, I can't say positive. It's just been an interaction, and nothing's ever come of it. So, yeah, it is what it is. Bingo,
Yeah.
right?
It's like you don't gotta
Wrangler bingo.
You don't gotta support, my cause and what I do. And however, I can still get along with you. I'm still pretty friendly. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, I could be friends with anybody. I don't have to like what you do, or I don't have to support what you do, but we can still be friends.
For sure.
Exactly.
I mean,
and then it's your,
especially
and it's their, and I get it. It's their right to do, what they do with our videos, stuff like that. And what J-Town hit it perfectly. They play the video for a few minutes, pause it for 10 seconds and say, oh, that dude's stupid. How dare they're just dumb. Let's keep watching. And it adds really no critique or any different not monetary, but instructional value to it.
It doesn't add anything to the conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. One of the things that drew me to all of this, truthfully, and really GT to you is, I mean, to be honest, I don't like the auditing stuff. I don't watch it or anything. And the truth is, it annoys the shit out of me. But first I got sick of these anti-auditor channels just doing the point auditor bad. And then I started talking. I started talking to one of Chili DeCastro, one of his guys, and one of his guys and me became friends, like kind of behind the scenes. Excuse me, buddy. And we would kind of talk about it. And I stopped. I'm like, the knee-jerk reaction to auditors, I didn't like either. And then I was watching, truthfully, very unintelligent people start talking about what you guys were doing. And I'm like, well, they're not even making sense. Like the audit, I don't like the auditing, but your critique of this is stupid and doesn't make any fucking sense. And it's not even saying anything. And so then that's why I went after, that kind of put me on a blue bacon a little bit, where it was kind of like, I got sick of these guys. Like, well, who the fuck are you to say that they can't do this? Like, who the fuck are you to, like, nothing's wrong with pointing and laughing. I mean, whatever, it's YouTube. But like, they were making you guys out like you're the scourge of the earth. Like, it literally, KFARR is like, the other day goes, GT is the scum of the earth. It's like, well, what the fuck, dude?
Well, I wonder if he's saying the same thing right now, because I'm sure one of his minions is in here monitoring, is probably going to go over and tell him.
Oh, he's probably watching himself.
Yeah, it's just like the mainstream news. They'll just take little snippets out and make a hate video.
Well, if they added to it.
Let me just say this about KFARR. Now, I had a email conversation with him right before Thanksgiving. And I told him, I said, dude, okay, so you've said stolen valor bad. Okay. Yeah. But it's always been buried deep in your live stream or your video to where nobody, let's face it, I don't watch his content because all he does is he tries to comment on somebody else's work. Because that's all it is. That's what the anti-frauditors do. They don't actually go out and do anything. They just comment on somebody else who went out and did something. So long story short, he says, well, after the holidays, I'll get back to you. Well, and I told him, I said, you need to directly address this in a specific video that says, Micheal Kiser bullshitted me and fed me a line of crap that all turned out to be false. And then yesterday I get an email. I think Tat sent me an email. Oh, he finally admitted it. Well, it's on a channel that had maybe 12 people watching. It was 52 minutes into the video. Yeah. And he was so soft in the way he addressed it. I just don't understand how a veteran can be okay with stolen valor. It just, but then again,
there's blind justices out there, and not that blind justice is okay with stolen valor. To be clear, you could say a lot of shit I could say a lot of stuff I don't like about him. One thing I'm not saying he's okay with stolen valor, nor is he committing it. But it really is weird with KFARR. Even that apology or whatever it was, they had to force it out of him. I'm going to cover it in a video. They had to pull it out of him. He wouldn't say Wrangler's name. It was such a weird. I just don't understand not being a man.
Well, I think we talked
being like,
about
I
it.
was wrong.
Yeah,
He's really
we talked
soft.
about that.
He is really soft.
Well, we talked about that because Wrangler didn't start hitting my military career until I put something up on, I think, in a title or something of one or description of one of my videos or something. I don't know. It was something, and then I think it was you, Stone Vet, that we talked about it. Is that Wrangler and KFARR thought I was their golden BB, that was going to launch their channel into orbit, and thinking on the hopes of rolling the dice that all of my military claims were actually false and fake is what they were planning on. But they didn't plan that my military history is actually factual.
I mean, them going after you backfired on them to the point. I mean, really, the second, third order effects of them doing that is it exposed Wrangler big, and then really it exposed KFARR. It exposed KFARR for what he is and what he's doing, and then it exposed his lack of backbone. And that's what, and I would see these kind of guys go after you guys. And for me, I always, meaning auditors, for me, I'm always, if I see somebody doing instead of somebody commenting, I'm for the doer. You know what I mean? Like, at least I was like, man, these motherfuckers are at least getting out of their house and going and doing. Now, you guys do something that I find annoying, but whatever. You know,
Wait,
that's not.
That's how you do it. Mom, more meatloaf.
Yeah, exactly. Auditor bad. Auditor bad. Mom, more meatloaf. It was like, I was like, who the fuck are these dudes who just sit behind a computer? These guys at least are going out there. I mean, I want to be careful because I don't know. There's a lot of stuff I see in the auditing where I'm like, somebody put it in the comments, the shock jock auditors. Yeah, those people suck. I mean, they are just, but like, so to me, I just felt like, well, hold on, let me look at you, like, meaning like the KFARRs and the Bacons and the, like, and then I'm a vet. Military government, 25 years. So it's what I know. And so that's what I latched on to because I can speak about vet stuff more. And I'm like, how are these vets just sitting here? They're not doing it. How are they not even realizing that these dudes are at least taking initiative to get out there? I mean, you guys aren't. They always.
One of the good parts was when he was like, you can't have 2, 3, or whatever MOSs.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna have to cut out my block because.
You can.
Because I've got like 6.
I know.
But it's weird the way it worked out because I started off as an MP. I was infatuated with aviation. When I was stationed at Fort Campbell, we had the eye in the sky, and I used to go fly in an OH-58 on the weekends to support the MPs because I was an MP. So I'd get to go sit left seat, OH-58, fly around Fort Campbell, and use the big spotlight and all that stuff. It was a hoot, and I really got interested in aviation. And my reenlistment time was coming up. I took the FAST test. I got a 120 on the FAST test, which is the test that you take to apply for warrant officer flight school. I did my field grade officer interview, got all that stuff done. I reenlisted for 67 Victor, which was a 58, basically a crew chief. Went to that school, and within 6 months, I was at Fort Rucker going through warrant officer flight school. And long story short, I got injured. I destroyed my right hand and broken wrist, broken thumb that didn't heal correctly. And I had been on medical hold for a while. So basically, I was dropped on a medical. I was allowed to come back if I could get the surgery I needed. Volunteered to go to Fort Bragg from there, had the surgery done, but by that time I couldn't pass a class 1 flight physical because of my eyesight. So did aviation. I had 4 different aviation MOSs. Once I started off as a 67 Victor. Then they had a TI MOS that came up, a technical inspector. So I went to that. So it was 66 Victor. Then there was 66 Sierra. I went to that school. And that was for the OH-58Ds, the little birds, the ones with the big ball on top.
Yeah.
And then once you make a certain rank, the Victor changes over, or the Sierra changes over to a Romeo. So, I mean, I've got all these MOSs listed, and then I went back in the MPs because, but to do that, I went from the reserve to the guard, and I went to 13 Bravo course to get a slot in the guard. And then I immediately, I think I was in the unit 3 months, I changed back over to MP. So I had to go, I went to 13 Bravo course and never worked in it.
I guess technically I've had 2 MOSs if you really want to look at it. I was a 13 Charlie, and then it went to 13 Delta. I mean,
hey guys, I don't mean to cut in there. I got to bounce. I'm moving today. So hey, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Love y'all, and I'll talk with y'all a little later.
All right,
All
take
right,
care.
J-Town.
Toodles.
Yeah, the truth is I probably need to run here too. I kind of got to get I'm packing up my stuff too. Actually, I'm heading to St. Louis for the month. So
Oh yeah, shoot, it's all good. I wanted to keep this short. I try to keep these under an hour, and I just wanted to address this stuff. And then glad you guys came up to talk.
I'm glad you addressed it. I think it's good to address it. I mean, it obviously, you and I, well, the 3 of us, you know, have addressed GT, specifically your stuff, you know, a few times. And then you and I obviously went over the video of them going over your resume. And I think it's good to have you do it. This is good because it also shows your community, your side of the fence, so to speak, that, hey, these dudes are, you know, what they're doing. I mean, hopefully the truth is, I don't care about the auditor, anti-auditor thing, but people need to see that, hey, if you're going to look, I've called somebody out and I've been wrong on didn't say stolen valor, but, you know, like, hey, I don't think this guy's military shit is right. And I've been wrong. And when you do that, just in anything in life, I would want this to be used as an example of how you take responsibility for your actions. And your actions in this case are claims on YouTube, whether that be if somebody is stealing, like a Wrangler, like, hey man, you made these claims. Now you need to be held responsible for it. And you need to show proof. You can't show proof. Well, now you're in trouble. And then
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought that up because if, let's say, if I was a diehard Micheal Kiser Frauditor Wrangler fan, I watched all of his live streams, I've donated money, and you know, and this is opinionated, of course, subjective and opinionated. And at this point right now, I mean, if I still like the guy because of what he does, I mean, there's probably a few people that actually like watching him. But it would question, I would ask the question, and I've seen it happen before in his live chat previously when someone would ask the question of like, hey, are you a veteran or anything to do military, they get deleted and gone. But, you know, the big question is that when Massart put out that stuff, you know, all those records, his live streams of anything him referencing, connecting him to the military were removed. He removed them from his channel. So he talks about me taking stuff down from my website in its entirety. I mean, it's my website. I run my own server. I can do what I want to with it. Right. I don't have to prove anything to anybody. And, you know,
he removed
the same thing. He took them down.
He removed 7 months of fucking videos. I mean, the
that
beauty
could
of
be a question to ask him as a follower. It's like, you're donating money to this guy, and it's by all means, that doesn't irk me. I could care less. Do what you want to with your money. It's your money. You want to give it to him, give it to him. I mean, I'm not giving him any of my money. I never did. And if I did, I would at least I would email him and ask him if I could get my donation back. I mean, I would.
The internet is forever, and I know those videos have been archived.
Yeah,
and they are still available.
Oh, I'm going through them. I mean, I'm the one. I mean, I'm doing nobody. I don't even know how many people are going to watch me do it, but I'm going through kind of one by one the videos. I know people are like, what the fuck? I mean, even like my civilian buddy of mine, he ran into this dude in St. Louis. Anyway, he's like, I can't, but he watches us do all this. And he's like, I can't believe your stamina on this dude. And I'm like, the truth is, at times I can't either. Like I have to watch. I want to watch it because there's all these little nuggets, like him showing his MP tattoo. I mean, that's like 3 seconds.
Oh, that was big.
Oh, that was golden.
Oh my God.
I got a brand new Craftsman grinder too that'd take that right off.
God, so behind the scenes, he's
Thank you. I appreciate it. Let me write. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut nobody off. I want to write this down because for this stream, for the donations and stuff, I want to donate. And I will provide receipts, by the way, unlike some. This came from Mr. Brandon here for $5. I want to either push this to the Wounded Warrior Project or donate this to the Donald Cameron's record fund or the family or something, because I'm doing this. I'm not in this video this time right here. I'm not keeping any of this money here, so it's going to something else. And once the video's done and everything, and I'm gonna might go ahead and pay it before YouTube pays me, or wait till YouTube pays me. But once I pay it, then it's going. I'm gonna release the receipt. I'm going to release a receipt of where this $5 went to. So all the money that does come in goes back into the channel, and I'm planning to put something out about that, because technically I'm kind of upside down right now with all the records and the traveling and stuff like that. So I'm a little upside down on the channel right now. But all the money I get goes back. It floods back into the channel just to keep it going. But for this specific here, this stuff here is going to go to, I'd like to donate it to, I guess you guys or somebody that's handling this whole Kiser investigation sort of thing for records, or even directly to the Donald Cameron family so they can try and get justice for this, or at least get him into, I'm not saying Wrangler's guilty. I don't know if he is or not. At least get him on trial, to at least have a trial for it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not on us to say whether, I mean, that's it
was a technicality why it was dismissed.
Yeah.
And then they changed it to without prejudice, so it can now be retried. And hopefully the ADAs that are going to go forward with it don't screw it up. And,
Burnsy, thank you.
Yeah, Burnsy.
I got to write that down.
So some folks are talking about, Joey, was it Joey Simpson or John said, let's cut to the chase. In my opinion, only one did the stolen valor lie, but the other fool, in my opinion, followed suit. I don't know about anything with lawsuits or anything.
Yes, maybe not for the military stuff. But when Wrangler referenced, he's referenced in quite a few times of me being a wife beater and breaking specific laws. Now that's a possibility. You can sue anybody for anything. I mean, I can take you to court, Stone Vet, because you smoke weed too much. I don't know. Am I going to win? I mean, will I win? No. I mean, you can sue anybody for anything. But I mean, here's the fact. Here's the point of it, is that could I file a lawsuit against Wrangler for slander and defamation? Yes, I could. Would we go to court? Most likely. If I win, if successful, then whatever judgment or monies I'm awarded, now I've got to collect. And then to collect, if he doesn't pay, I got to take him back to court. And then here's the kicker to it. The dude has nothing. He has nothing. It's pointless. And it sucks. It really does. That's the sucky part about it, is that I'm not wasting my time with it. And by all means, I hope he's listening to this. They'll probably open him up to say a whole bunch of more stuff about me. But the dude has nothing. There's nothing to even sue him for.
Yeah. I think the truth is, my guess is his current legal stuff is what's gonna get him, not you suing him for slander or libel or whichever. I'm against these kind of court cases like that. I think that it starts feeling like chilly a little too much to me. Like kind of,
Yeah,
man,
exactly. I mean, if somebody talks, I think you did the right thing, Russ. You addressed this very eloquently. You made a really good video that it was amazing. I mean, you hit every point that they were ragging on you about. And I think this is a much better way to handle it than frivolous, basically clogging up the court systems. Because you're right. You're not going to get nothing. You can't get blood from a stone,
No, I won't. I won't get anything from him. I mean, I may get a judgment against him to get his tax returns or something if he ever files them. And you know what? If he goes back to prison for an extended period of time or for life, I don't know, however long, if he goes back to prison, how am I going to collect then? Because then his VA disability goes down to the 10%, or he gets a lot less. And
well, he loses it completely on the 61st day.
Yeah. And I think the VA, the truth is, I think this VA thing, I think this VA thing is going to hurt him. I think that's because money hurts.
Well, yeah, that, and I've got other stuff I'm working on. I've got, government agencies concealing records. I've got stuff I'm looking into that, police are, that's questionable about what police are doing and caught on camera, on body camera. So, and I'm in the middle of a lawsuit right now against Meriwether County for concealing and hiding open records, under the Georgia Open Records Act. So I've got other stuff. And then with that lawsuit, guess what I didn't ask for? I didn't ask for any money. I'm not looking for money. This lawsuit I filed with Meriwether, I didn't ask for no money. I want the records itself. And tying myself up, and I found that Kaiser's like a disease. And you got to separate, or like gum in your hair. The more you tangle with it, the more entangled you get. You got to separate yourself from this dude. And hopefully that's what people do. I can't control what people do. I mean, people's going to do what they want to do,
which is why,
however, y'all are doing a great job of exposing them.
You focus on what you want to focus on. I mean, I'm fortunate, I guess. I don't know. I have the time and the ability to hammer for hours a day at these fucks and hit at him specifically. KFARR is just a side, but I mean, KFARR is finding out. And I think everybody, I mean, look, auditors should take this too. If you start getting somebody like this in your camp, even if it's somebody you like, but a dude's doing stolen valor, he's scamming off a motherfucker, you gotta push those people out if you want your thing to get to the next level. Look, I say this as somebody that helped indigenous groups form resistance stuff, and I would work to get these groups together and push them, and do whatever. And I want to get into work too much, but my point is, you got to get rid of the riffraff. You got to get rid of the cancers, because the bar for entry is so low into the YouTube game that you're going to get a lot of fucking malignant actors in it.
Yeah.
And Kiser
I got something to ask you guys. Now, I mean, all three of us are military. You go through basic, they break you down and they build you back up, and they want you to have this alpha personality. They want you to be a warrior. They build you up. But when it comes to KFARR, now, anybody that's gone through that and been broken down and brought back up, and they want you to be that alpha male. They want you to, be that person. But man, he is just so freaking soft when it comes to the stolen valor thing. And
he's incompetent.
I get it. I get it. Not everybody. There's a lot of vets out there that could give two shits less about it because it doesn't affect them, but it does affect them.
Yeah.
Not directly.
Yeah.
When you get somebody like Frauditor Wrangler who makes up this whole big career, and then it comes out that he's a phony, anytime anybody looks at you now, they're going to be like, well, is this guy for real or is he full of shit?
Exactly.
And,
Exactly.
you know, Stolen Valor, Doug Sterner, Mary Shantag, Don Shipley, John Leela, all those guys were very instrumental on how I looked at the Stolen Valor thing and how I do my investigations. John Leela, rest his soul, retired Army E7 infantry guy, was a great mentor for me when I do my investigations, and that's why I do them thoroughly. I don't do what those knuckleheads did and go out and start calling somebody out based on an assumption. When I ask a question, I already know the answer because I've got the freaking paperwork right here in front of me. So, you know, but I just can't understand how they didn't break him down to bring him back as that alpha personality that when somebody talks shit about the service, you jump on their ass and, you know.
Well, I mean, that's what got me onto GT. I was like, well, I don't like auditing, but I'm protecting it. I'm going to fucking stand by a fucking combat vet. I'm going to stand by a fucking vet. And
I'm not breaking the law. I'm not breaking the law. I'm doing everything.
Well, sure. I mean, if you were, yeah, exactly. I don't mean regardless of what you did, if you were doing like crimes and shit, obviously, you know, but like the KFARR thing is there is something else. There's just something else. Him and Weapons 175 are both weirdly okay with it. And it's not like my buddy Nord, a Marine buddy of mine. I record with him sometimes, very close friend.
Peace out, John. Appreciate
it. You know, I try and bring up the Kiser. I'm like, hey man, let's record on the Kiser thing. And he's watching. He's like, fuck this guy. Like, and he's like,
exactly.
He's like, I just don't even want to deal with him. Like, but fuck him, you know? And it's like, I can understand that, but KFARR is directly affected by this. I mean, his reputation and who he is as a person and as a man is affected by this. People are watching him. And people are noticing how he's acting. I could get, like, somebody could come to me, like, during all of this, Blue Bacon, Blind Just, people are, that once they see you're doing it, they're like, hey, check this other dude out. Check this out. I'm like, okay. You know, and they're like, oh, you don't care about Stolen Valor. It's like, no, but I'm looking at this one right now. So that's a different thing. Like, if KFARR is like, why are you asking me about a dude I don't know? That would be one thing. That would be a whole different fucking thing. KFARR fucking was on at least like 2 to 3 times a week for like 7 months with this dude. And then he's acting like, why are you guys even bothering to ask me about this? Like, of course I don't like Stolen Valor. It's like, well, hold on. If there's a question about it, and it's not just a couple of fucking, you know, vocal few, it's a lot of people are like, hey, KFARR, people are really curious about this. And you're like, they're just drama. I've just never seen another military dude act so, it's not even nonchalant.
He's soft.
Yeah, and dismissive of this. It's really, I don't know. I have my feelings, but I've gotten out in front of myself too much. Unlike Top, I will say something.
Must be a Navy thing to be that soft or whatever.
I guess, man. I guess this is going to trigger him.
No, and I won't say it's a Navy thing, because you got Navy text. I got my buddy, veteran biker, who's a retired chief, was a diver.
And my cousin, my cousin was a corpsman, and then
I mean, he looked at that DD-214 for me, and then I told him that about this other guy, Wrangler. And basically he's like, yeah, fuck that dude.
Yeah.
Exactly. You need to expose him. He's a piece of shit.
And for whatever reason, Weapons 175 and KFARR just seem like no, they're just trying to bury their head in the sand on it. And I don't know if they're not young. I mean,
no,
they're young.
they're like beta males.
Yeah, and it's like, dude, how are you guys not tracking that? If you just come out and say, "Hey, man, this dude fooled us. I brought him in. I apologize. I just want to let you guys know that I've been lied to. You've been lied to. I didn't mean to lie to my audience about it, but here it is. But I want you guys to know now. I don't think you should give him money, blah, blah, blah. Nothing of that. He won't even say fucking Wrangler's name. He literally won't even say his name.
That was, did you see that? That was funny. Is KFARR Frauditor Wrangler's gay stepson?
Yeah, I saw that.
What the fuck was up with that stepson thing? Oh my God, that is so weird. That's a 25-year-old man of a woman that he fake married. He just met her like fucking not even at the beginning of the year, like fucking 6-7 months ago. He met this girl, and now he's like, I'm proud to call that man son. It's like, whoa, dude. What the fuck? Oh shit. Well, hey, listen, I gotta take off. I'm gonna go.
I'm fixing to end this here. We're right at the top of we're an hour and 6 minutes. I try to keep them like right at an hour. And I want to thank y'all both for coming on. Y'all's channel links are in my description of this live stream here. And that way, hopefully people will come over if they want a little bit more of what this guy is doing.
Yeah. Hey, I'm more than happy to come on, brother. I mean, anytime a vet needs something, especially when it comes to this kind of shit where they're getting called out. And, I'm always here for my fellow veterans. I'll do anything for them. And when there's a wrong being committed, you can bet your ass I'll step up to the plate regardless of anything else. It's all about the veterans for me. And yeah, I was more than happy to come on for you.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, man. Be good, GT. Hey, thanks, swine. Keeping the swine in line. Hey, if anybody listen, the truth is probably the majority of my people are anti-auditor, roughly. But a quarter, GT comes over to my place all the time. I don't have any mods, so you may get swung on a minute or two if you're in the chat, but if you can hang, it's a good time, man. We really just laugh at Wrangler. Like I try and keep the anti-auditing portion out of any of it. Because the truth is it doesn't interest me, but
which is fine. It's perfectly fine. That's your channel. Talk about what you want to talk about.
For sure. I'm just letting people know because most people here. I'm trying to look at the chat. I'm seeing some people. Obviously Burnsy and Hawk fan for life, and but yeah, if you guys, even if you don't, whatever. I'm just a regular channel. I smoke weed and we try and laugh and whatever. So, all right, guys.
See, look, some of them are checking your stuff out. That's awesome.
Yeah, perfect. Cool. And the truth is, I like my channel, the size that it's at, because I can manage it. I can manage it without mods, and I can, I don't have to worry. I can only make so much money because of Social Security. And so I'm like right at that level. So yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to super promote anything or whatever, but yeah, it's just a good time. It's fun. It's fun when there's fun people who are sharp and fast and like to roast each other, roast me. I mean, it's just, that's all. So it's like the barracks, man. It's just hanging out in the barracks. That's
the only reason I keep coming back is to roast your ass.
Yeah, I know. I get roasted a lot. I'm like, man, maybe I should actually say, hey, stop. If I say stop roasting, which I wouldn't ever really.
That wouldn't go good.
No.
Hey, that's true. Hey, that might be one thing that we can thank old Micheal Kiser for. They're really meshing the communities. It's cool because it's like, y'all don't care for the stuff that I do and everything. And I'm not like, I'm not into really fully investigating stolen valor. I'm definitely for it. I'm for it. And, most definitely. And somebody's claiming something, and especially something along. I haven't heard anybody claim something like directly. I guess the ones that Don Shipley's exposed and stuff like that, I've seen the videos, but I didn't know any of them directly, more indirectly. But Kaiser's the first one directly I've had to deal with, and it just sucks that it was mine that he started trying to tarnish.
But it's good though, because then it also, in a weird way, it allows you to bring out your military stuff that you may not have talked about before. If you,
yeah, and I never did. I never really mentioned. I have before in
Yeah.
some of my videos when I'd get upset, and it's like my rights are blatantly getting violated. I'm like, so you're going to violate my rights? And they're like, yes. And I bring it up. And I'm like, you didn't know this. I'm a disabled veteran. Did you know that? And they just look at me, and it's like they're just like it seems like they still don't care.
Yeah.
Hey, I just in regards to stolen valor, and this is a text message I got. Hey, I think I'm working on something with stolen valor. This guy's at work, and this guy tells him that he was Air National Guard 8199. Said he shot a 13-year-old. Graduated, get this shit, graduated buds in Georgia in 1986.
Okay.
That's in California. That's in California.
They didn't give him a trident. He also worked with Delta and Rangers, finished Ranger School, but wasn't given a tab for the same reason.
Okay.
GT's down in your neck of the woods, brother.
Yeah.
He's in Georgia?
Yeah, I'm guessing. If that's the case, if he was in the Georgia Air National Guard, I have found that these guys that are in the National Guard, whether it be Army or Air, when you do a Freedom of Information Act request to the Guard and you outline why you're doing it, they will give you everything because they do not like it one bit.
Yes.
But this guy, yeah, he graduated buds in 86 in Georgia.
Isn't buds in California?
It is. It's in Coronado.
What were they using? Tybee Island Beach there for their buds training?
No, but hasn't buds always been one place in California?
Coronado.
Yeah,
that's
I
what
actually
thought.
did. My basic reconnaissance course, BRC, is down there. We actually trained on the same dude there. It was really funny because Marines and the SEALs are so, I mean, I love us, but we're also ridiculous. But like, so the SEALs obstacle course, they had to run it twice. So we had to do it 3 times in a row. And it's like, well, fuck, man. It's hard for those dudes to do it twice. But
I want to meet a Ranger SEAL.
I want to meet a Ranger SEAL. I mean, the truth is, when you're, this guy's clearly lying. I mean, Buds was never in Georgia.
Yeah,
but.
and that's what I told the guy. I said, yeah, I don't even really have to get anything yet. Full of shit.
Yeah.
And I needed, he gave me his name, but I need his date of birth. And if he was in the Georgia Air Guard or whatever, because it would just be hilarious to get what his records are. And I don't know if he's got any social media presence. A lot of times, if the person I'm investigating doesn't have a social media presence, I don't do videos on them. Like I said, I've got over 100 of them in my desk drawer where I've gotten their records back that I've never even mentioned. Some of the ones that do have some type of media presence where, like that fat fuck Derek Church from Lenore, North Carolina. I blasted him. And that's because he was standing there wearing a Ranger beret cocked over the wrong eye, and a set of heavy drop dress blues. And so
cool. All right, I got to roll. I really do have to roll. So, all right, guys.
All right, brother. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off. Thanks for showing up. Hey, thanks, Master Sergeant. I appreciate it. Y'all coming in. We're going to go ahead and kill it here. And thanks, everybody, for popping in. Until next time, make sure to like, share, subscribe. I'm going to make that video that I showed in this live stream public, so you can go watch it directly instead of having to fish through it through the live stream. And without further ado, thanks everybody, and I will catch y'all again when we do something great. Hey, thanks, Stone Bet. Hey, to Brandon Mitchell and Bernsey 69, y'all's donations. I got one for $5, one for $19.99. So that's probably what, like $24.99 or $25 to say. I'll round and say $25. So I'll push that to something from this stream here. Wounded Warrior, or the something to do with Donald Cameron's thing that's going on, if y'all would both email me and let me know which one y'all would rather go to. I'll try and figure out. I'll get with Shiz about the Donald Cameron thing, and maybe just donate it to Shiz so she can continue pulling records to keep this thing going. Something just y'all just let me know. Hey, thanks again, Matt Sarnt. I'm gonna cut it off here, and thanks everybody for joining in, and we will catch y'all again on the next one.
All right, Dan, have a great one.
You too.